Hey, quiet warrior. Yes, you, the one who laughs in public but collapses inside when no one's watching. The one who carries storms in silence while everyone else thinks the sun is shining for you. You've been holding it together for too long, and now your own thoughts feel like knives turned inward. Life gives us two battlegrounds. The first is the world outside. Other people, situations, unpredictable events. The second is the battlefield inside your head. And here's the painful truth. The inner war is always deadlier, because while life can wound you once, your thoughts can replay the pain 1,000 times. Think about it. You might be sitting in a quiet room, no threats, no enemies, and yet your mind won't stop throwing shadows at you. Fear, shame, regret, self-doubt. All of it feels real, even when nothing outside has changed. Why does this happen? Because the battlefield is in your head. One single negative thought can multiply until it consumes your entire identity. I'm not good enough. I'll never get it right. They don't actually care about me. Those whispers feel small at first, but if you don't confront them, they become cages. And that's exactly where Stoicism enters, not as a philosophy class, but as a weapon. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. These men faced slavery, betrayal, war, and loss. Yet they discovered something timeless. You may never control the outside world, but you always control how you meet it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So let that sink in. You don't need perfection. You don't need to control everyone and everything around you. What you need is mastery over yourself, your responses, your choices, your perspective. This video is not for someone who wants a 5-minute dopamine hit. It's for those ready to stop being prisoners of their own thoughts, for those tired of letting an inner voice whisper, "You're not enough." In the next 7 chapters, we're going to expose the most brutal mental traps that keep you locked in negativity, and show how Stoic wisdom gives you the exact tools to break free. But before we begin, do this. Type in the comments, "I am stronger than my negative thoughts." Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe if you're serious about building inner strength. Now, let's begin killing the negative thoughts, one Stoic truth at a time. Here's the first Stoic truth you must carve into your mind. You are not your thoughts. At first, this might sound strange. We're raised to believe that every thought is me, that whatever shows up in our mind must define who we are. But think about it. How many random, disturbing, or even absurd thoughts pass through your head in a single day? If every one of those was you, then you'd be changing identities every 5 minutes. The Stoics understood something powerful. The mind has 2 parts. What happens? How you respond. You can't stop negative thoughts from arriving. That's normal. That's human. What matters is what you do with them. Epictetus said, "It isn't events themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." So when your mind whispers, "I failed, I'm ugly, they don't love me," those words only become chains if you believe them. Otherwise, they're just noise. Let's use an image. When you see a dark cloud in the sky, do you panic, scream, and collapse? No. You notice it, maybe grab a jacket and keep walking. That's how you should treat your thoughts. Acknowledge them, but don't surrender to them. The problem is most people confuse a passing thought with their identity. They think, "I felt anxious, so I must be an anxious person. I doubted my relationship, so maybe it's doomed." But here's the truth. Thoughts are not facts. They're suggestions, not commands. Your mind will play, some pleasant, some painful. But just because a song plays doesn't mean you have to dance to it. The Stoics practiced techniques to separate themselves from destructive thoughts. Here are 2 you can use. 1. The judge's test. Write down your disturbing thought, then interrogate it like a strict judge. Is this 100% true? What evidence do I have? What would Marcus Aurelius say about this? Will this matter in 5 years? By the time you finish, most thoughts lose their false weight. 2. Label. don't own. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, say, I'm having a thought that I failed. That tiny shift creates distance, and in that distance, you find power. Because the truth is, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. And if you are the observer, that means you have the authority to decide which thoughts stay and which dissolve like clouds in the sky. So let this mantra sink in. I am the sky. My thoughts are only clouds. Drop it in the comments right now. I am not my thoughts. I am the observer. One of the deepest roots of mental suffering is this: resisting what already is. It's not the event itself that destroys your peace. It's the endless whisper. This shouldn't have happened. A breakup, a betrayal, a missed opportunity, a word you wish you could take back. Your mind replays it like a broken record. It wasn't supposed to go like this. But here's the hard truth. It did happen, and no amount of arguing with the past can erase it. The Stoics understood this with brutal clarity. Pain is unavoidable, but suffering is optional, and suffering begins the moment you resist reality. Epictetus put it simply, do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. This doesn't mean you celebrate pain. It doesn't mean you pretend everything's fine when it's not. It means you stop wasting energy on trying to rewrite what is already written. Imagine two people standing in the rain. One curses the sky, screaming, "It shouldn't be raining." The other accepts, grabs a coat, and keeps walking. Both get wet, but only one suffers. That's the difference between resisting reality and embracing it. Most negative thoughts come from fighting the past. Why did they leave me? Why did I say that? If only I had taken that chance. But none of these change the event. They only keep the wound open. The Stoics called this practice amor fati, love of fate. Not because everything is pleasant, but because everything is fuel. Even pain becomes useful when you stop resisting it. Here's a tool you can use. Every time your mind says, this shouldn't have happened, answer with, but it did, so now what? That one line shifts your power. You stop being a victim of the past and step back into authorship of the present. Because peace doesn't come from a perfect life. Peace comes from accepting reality and moving forward anyway. So write this affirmation in the comments. I accept reality. I grow from it. Here's a dangerous mistake most people make. They treat their first emotion as the truth. You feel anger and you assume you're justified. You feel fear and you assume danger is real. You feel jealousy and you assume you're not enough. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that the first feeling is not final wisdom. It's a reflex, not reality. Think of emotions like waves at sea. The first one crashes hard, loud, chaotic, overwhelming. But if you wait, if you steady the boat, you'll see the storm always passes. Marcus Aurelius, a man ruling the largest empire in the world under constant pressure, reminded himself, the first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. Even he, an emperor, had to pause before reacting. Let's take an example. Your friend ignores your message. The first emotion, they don't care about me. If you react instantly, maybe you lash out, accuse, or retreat in silence. But wait a few hours, and you might learn they were busy, exhausted, or simply forgot. Acting on the first emotion often destroys what patience could have saved. Here's how you practice Stoic restraint. 1. Name the emotion. When anger or fear hits, pause and say, I'm feeling anger, but that doesn't mean I'm right. I'm feeling fear, but that doesn't mean I'm in danger. I'm feeling jealousy, but that doesn't mean I'm less. Labeling separates you from the storm. 2. Delay the reaction. Say to yourself, let me wait before I respond. Even 10 minutes of space can turn rage into reason. 3. The view from above. This is one of the Stoics' most powerful tools. Imagine zooming out of your life, rising higher and higher until you see your city, your country, the whole planet. Suddenly, the problem that felt like the end of the world becomes small, almost invisible. That perspective kills unnecessary suffering. Remember, your emotions are signals, not orders. You're not weak for feeling them. You're wise when you refuse to let them control your actions. So pause, wait, choose. That single discipline has saved friendships, marriages, careers, and it will save your peace too. Drop this in the comments right now. I pause, I choose, I don't react blindly. Most of the time, it isn't the event itself that breaks you. It's the story you attach to it. You get rejected, and the mind whispers, "They never liked me. I'll always be alone." You make one mistake at work, and the mind declares, "I'm a failure, I'm not capable." This is the trap. You confuse raw facts with your fearful interpretation of them. Marcus Aurelius saw this clearly. He wrote, "If you are pained by anything external, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." It's not the silence, the delay, or the rejection itself that crushes you. It's the story you weave around it. Your boss gives you a short reply. Fact. Your mind adds, "They hate me. My career is doomed." Story. A friend doesn't invite you. Fact. Your mind adds, "I'm not valued. Nobody wants me around." Story. You didn't hit a goal. Fact. Your mind adds, "I'll never succeed." Story. But here's the liberating truth. You can separate the event from the story. Here's a Stoic exercise. Step 1. Write the fact. My message wasn't replied to for 2 days. Step 2. Write the story. They don't care about me, they're avoiding me. Step 3. Challenge the story. Do I know this is true? Is there another explanation? Haven't I ever been late in replying for reasons that had nothing to do with the other person? Almost always, you'll see the story is weaker than it feels. Your brain is a storyteller, but you are the editor. And a wise editor doesn't let every draft go to print. So the next time your mind spirals, pause. Ask, what's the fact and what's the story I'm adding to it? Because bad things may happen, but they don't define you. You define the meaning of what happens. And in that choice lies your freedom. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control the story. I choose peace over panic. Here's a brutal truth. Your mind doesn't live in isolation. It's constantly being shaped, trained, and programmed by the environment around you. And negative minds are not always born. They're built. And they're built by toxic surroundings. Think about it. The people you spend time with, the content you scroll through, the habits you repeat every day. These are the voices that plant seeds in your mental garden. And whatever seeds you allow in, grow. Seneca once warned, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you can improve. He wasn't just talking about friendships. He was talking about mental hygiene. If your life feels like chaos, ask yourself, who or what is feeding your thoughts? 1. Negative people. If you're surrounded by complainers, gossips, or pessimists, you'll start absorbing their mindset. Your brain mimics what it hears most. 2. Toxic media. If you scroll endlessly through content that fuels comparison, outrage, or shame, don't be surprised when your inner voice starts sounding bitter, insecure, or restless. 3. Chaotic spaces. Your environment is a mirror. A cluttered desk, a messy room, constant noise, all of it keeps your nervous system on edge. The Stoics lived with simplicity and order because they knew outer chaos creates inner chaos. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't kill negative thoughts if you keep feeding them every day. So, do an environment detox. Ask yourself, who drains me and who lifts me? Does the content I consume inspire me or poison me? Does my space give me clarity or choke me with stress? Try this challenge for 7 days. No gossip, no drama, no mindless negative scrolling. Clean your room. Unfollow accounts that fuel insecurity. Spend time with people who actually want to grow. By the end of a week, you'll notice something. Your mind feels lighter. Not because the storm vanished, but because you stopped pouring gasoline on the fire. Your environment matters more than you realize. Clean it up, and you'll discover silence inside. Drop this in the comments. I protect my mind by protecting my environment. Sometimes your negative thinking doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means this: you're tired, not broken. When you're exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything feels worse than it actually is. A short text feels like rejection. A small problem feels like a disaster. A delay feels like betrayal. Your mind becomes a storm, not because you're weak, but because you're drained. The Stoics understood this well. They didn't just write about mindset, they also wrote about energy, about protecting your strength. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. But here's the catch. How can you revoke pain when your body is starving for rest? Too many people try to think their way out of exhaustion. They argue with their mind, fight their thoughts, try to force clarity. But what they really need is recovery, not more thinking. Think about the last time you slept poorly, skipped meals, or drowned in constant noise and scrolling. Didn't your thoughts get darker, heavier, and harder to control? Negative thinking often screams loudest when your nervous system is running on empty. Here's the truth. You don't need to fix your entire life in one night. Sometimes, all you need is to sleep, breathe, and allow your system to reset. The Stoics weren't robots. They valued rest as much as discipline. Even Epictetus reminded his students that learning was impossible when the mind was overcrowded and fatigued. So give yourself this gift. Go to bed an hour earlier tonight. Take a 20-minute walk without your phone. Say no to one thing that drains your energy. Write down your worries, then step away from them. You are not broken. You are simply overrun. And rest is not a weakness, it's medicine. So the next time you feel crushed by your own thoughts, ask yourself, am I truly broken or am I just tired? Chances are, sleep will heal more than self-criticism ever will. Drop this in the comments. I am not broken. I am just resting. Here's the final Stoic weapon against negative thinking. Gratitude, not a cliché, not a motivational poster. Gratitude is a blade. It cuts through the roots of negativity. Why? Because negativity thrives on tunnel vision. When your mind is consumed by pain, all you see is what's missing, what's broken, what's unfair. But gratitude shatters that tunnel. It forces you to notice what's still real, what's still working, what's still here. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Most negative thoughts are born from lack. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. But gratitude reminds you, you already have more than you realize. And no, gratitude isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about balance, about saying, yes, this hurts, but look at what I still have. Here's a simple Stoic practice. Each day, write down 3 small things you're grateful for. A breath you didn't notice, a meal that gave you strength, a person who still cares, a lesson that came from pain. In your darkest hour, gratitude becomes an anchor, and anchors keep you from drowning. Because here's the truth, negative thinking grows in the soil of forgetfulness. When you forget your blessings, you start believing life is only pain. Gratitude makes you remember. Even Marcus Aurelius, who lost children, friends, and fought endless wars, reminded himself daily to look for what was still good, still worthy of thanks. If he could do it surrounded by chaos, so can you. So tonight, before you close your eyes, Ask yourself, what do I still have? Right here, right now. Write it down. Let gratitude be your final thought of the day. Drop this in the comments. Gratitude is my armor against negativity. If you've made it this far, understand this. You've already begun killing negative thoughts. Because awareness is the first cut, and Stoicism is the blade. This isn't about perfection. The Stoics never promised a life without struggle. They promised a way to face struggle with strength. Remember the truths you've learned. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer. Stop arguing with reality. It already happened. Don't trust the first emotion. Pause, wait, choose. The stories you tell yourself create your pain. Rewrite them. Your environment feeds your mind. Detox it. You're tired, not broken. Rest, recover, reset. Gratitude kills negativity. Remember what's still here. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Now you have the tools to guard those thoughts, to stand strong against the storm inside. So don't just watch this video, practice it, train it, live it. If this helped you, like the video so more people can find it. Comment your favorite Stoic truth. Share it with someone who's fighting silent battles. And subscribe, because we are building unshakable minds together. Final affirmation for the comments. My mind is my strongest weapon.